Welcome to Lake TV's High School Basketball Coaches Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center. Hy-Vee, both in Osage Beach and Jefferson City. Our vet at the lake, and of course the O'Sullivan Bruce Group, part of RE/MAX Lake of the Ozarks. This week we are focusing on the Camdenton Lakers, so we've got our good friend, head coach Craig Campbell with us. Coach, boy, this season it's getting away from it. It's almost gone, man.
We got 3 games left this week for sure.
And then into district tournaments, and then you never know what's going to happen in districts. So wins have been tough to come by this year for the Lakers, but you've had some good ones. You knock off Lebanon. You don't just knock them off, but you beat them pretty good. When you beat a rival like that, man, that kind of makes all the hurts go away for a while, doesn't it?
For a day or two, yeah. Definitely, that's something. We got the Highway 5 trophy back. We started that my first year here at Camdenton on the basketball side. They've been doing it for football for I don't even know how long. They've got 5 or 6 different football trophies, but basketball, as we started my first year here, and the last 2 years they got it, but I've got 3 out of the 5. So
nice.
But yeah, that was one of those. That was a motivation factor for the boys too, was to get that back to Camdenton.
Absolutely, and like I said, you didn't just slip by them. I think you beat them by like 17 points or something. So that was pretty resounding.
And what's bad is we missed a bunch of free throws, and it probably should have been worse.
Really? Wow. Well, I guess that's a good sign. So a lot of close games that you guys have been in that you weren't able to find a way to win. So, glass half empty, glass half full kind of a thing. You can look at it like, darn, we obviously would have wanted to win those games. But if you're close, that must say something for the future, because you're playing a lot of young guys too.
Yeah, we've only got 2 seniors. The rest are juniors and sophomores. And so being in those tight games definitely will bode well for the future, as far as being able to understand what they need to do to be able to pull those out, and what it takes for 4 quarters and stuff. But you definitely wish you could pull a few of those out. It would help with the confidence level.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I've gone through it a couple of years here at Camdenton where we've been that close to getting the win and end up losing it, and so that it takes a toll on you. It does. Yeah. And being able to grind through that and keep working and keep getting better is a true test of character, and a lot of the boys are able to do that. So,
in your experience as a coach, can you teach how to win, or is that just something you have to experience? You got to pull out a few wins and then you kind of figure that out. How does that work?
A little of both.
Yeah.
I mean, as a coach, I can put them in situations in practice and get them in situations where they are like, oh, okay, we've kind of experienced this a little bit, but to actually go and do it in an actual game with the atmosphere and stuff, you need to win a couple of those to really understand fully what your coach is trying to teach you and what you're trying to work on, and what you need to work on and get better at.
And sports is such a funny thing too, because I can remember back when I was playing different things, when you get on a roll, like if you're in a tournament and you get on a roll, somehow you just win games. It gets in your mind like, hey, it's going to happen. We're going to figure out a way to win this game. And likewise, the other side is true. If you've lost a lot lately, it kind of gets in your mind, oh, man, here we go again.
Yep. Yeah, and the saying winning breeds winning and losing breeds losing, it's true, and it's not necessarily one of those things that each group is a little bit different, but it's one of those that when they experience that winning, they kind of like it and they want it some more, and they start doing those things that will get them more wins. Where when you're losing and you feel like you're really just grinding and working hard and it's just still not working out for you, you start getting a little bit down on yourself, and so when that stuff happens, it takes a lot to really right the ship and do a good job of focusing on what can you control, how can you help your outcome, and that's something that is not seen much in today's society.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of people that just kind of, it's over, I'm done.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting until the end.
Kind of giving up. Is that a part of the younger generation, do you think, or?
Honestly, I think generation-wise, it hasn't. Like, kids really haven't changed a ton. I mean, people say, "Oh, kids have changed." No, it's how they're raised in their society that they're in. That's what's changed. And so when that changes and they've grown up that way, then yeah, their mentality is going to be a little bit different than it was on a generation that had to fight for everything they got. And so, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the generation so much as just society in general.
Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely seeing that. This is the Lake TV High School Basketball Coaches Show. We're focusing on the purple, the Camdenton Lakers this week with head coach Craig Campbell. And we've got district tournaments coming up, so we'll talk more about that right after this. What is COMC? A health center where everyone has access to high-quality, affordable medical, dental, and behavioral health care, regardless of insurance or ability to pay. Offering primary care, preventative, chronic, pediatrics, and OBGYN. COMC even offers comprehensive dental and same-day emergency care. A health center that focuses on every aspect of your health. Everything your family needs to stay healthy. At COMC, your health is our mission. It pays to be a senior and shop at Hy-Vee. It's the Hy-Vee Senior Discount. Your produce, snacks, household necessities, deli and bakery, mealtime favorites, and everything else in between. It's the Hy-Vee Senior Discount 7 days a week at Hy-Vee in Osage Beach and Jefferson City, where it pays to be a senior.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Hey, Jess.
Yeah, Nicole, what do you need?
Did you see that new listing in Sunrise Beach?
Yeah, it was just listed 2 minutes ago.
It has 150 feet of lakefront.
And a brand new kitchen.
I'm headed out there after I type this email.
I'm on the phone with my clients. Hey, where are you going?
I already put an offer in, cash above list, and it's looking good.
Are you kidding me?
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. Welcome back to Lake TV's High School Basketball Coaches Show. Last week of the regular season, and we are talking with Camdenton Lakers head coach Craig Campbell. So, Coach, being in the Ozark Conference, especially for basketball, I mean, this is, you got the defending state champion in 6A and Kickapoo in there, and they're good again this year. You got a really good Bolivar team. They were in the Final Four last year. I think they've only got 2 losses on the season. Rolla has really stepped up and played well this year. Ozark Conference, tough every night.
Oh yeah, and you didn't even mention Parkview, who's beat Kickapoo. West Plains, who's beat Parkview. I mean, it's one of those in the Ozark Conference. If you don't play 4 quarters every single night, you're not in the ball game. Yeah. And you look at, Kickapoo obviously is a notoriously postseason bound. Have gone to multiple Final Fours and stuff. But Bolivar, having officially joined the conference, even though we played them every year before this. They're coming off a Final Four run and brought almost everybody back from that team. And, Rolla beat them. That's one of those that about everybody in the Ozark Conference can beat anybody. You just have to play well and have one of those where you don't have an off quarter or in the case of most games, off 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because things can change really quick in 2 minutes.
That could do you in, just that. Absolutely, when you're playing teams that are that good. So this being the final week of the regular season, you've got districts coming up. Actually, I think your district is easier than your conference, but it's usually going to be, not to say that that makes it easy, because you've got some really good teams in district this year, and that's going to be tough.
Oh yeah, you mentioned our district. Our district's half of our conference. Like half the teams in our district are from our conference. So I mean, you got us and Rolla and West Plains and Glendale are all in our district too. But then you got Springfield Catholic, who lost to Bolivar by 2 the other night, and were played in the tournament champions and competed and beat Nixa, who's number 1 or number 2 in the state in Class 6. And so it's a tough district too. I would agree that from top to bottom, it's probably not as tough as our conference, but it's still pretty solid.
Tough. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've got Springfield Catholic in the first game of the district. They're 20-6 going into the final week of the regular season. But again, like we talked about earlier, sports is such a weird thing. Something clicks, something happens. You happen to pull off an upset win in game 1 of the districts. You really don't know what can happen.
Yep. And that's the nice thing about postseason, especially in basketball, is you can beat anybody. I mean, all it takes is that one night where you play really well. If we play like we have in a couple of games this year, we can easily knock off Springfield Catholic. And I've seen them play games where they've squeaked out wins, and it kind of goes back to what we just talked about as far as when you win a lot, you kind of have that, we're going to figure it out. And they were able to do that on some games that probably shouldn't have.
Absolutely. And the 3-point, with the 3-point shot coming into play, hey, anybody gets hot from outside, that gives you an extra shot.
And that's where everybody talks about, if you're down by so much, it's pretty much over. And with 3-point shot, 20 points isn't a safe lead.
Right.
30, you probably could say, okay, you're probably going to win this one. But 20 points, it's not a safe lead because, like you said, you get somebody 3 straight trips, hit a 3, and all of a sudden, the momentum's your way, and you're back to almost single digits, and so it changes things. Absolutely.
Especially in high school, because the kids are still young, they're still figuring it out, the maturity levels are going up. Things start to go bad, they go bad fast.
Very fast, and I talk to the boys all the time about momentum and momentum shifts in games and stopping runs and stuff like that. But when you see that momentum shift as a coach, a lot of it you look at your players' faces and how are they handling that. And like I said, in high school, a lot of times when that momentum shifts, the other team starts falling apart really quick. I've seen a lot of really good teams lose games because another team got all the momentum in the third, fourth quarter, and they couldn't figure out how to stop it.
Yeah.
And I've also seen the other way where the really good teams have gained the momentum and then the other team just shut down. And so those are things you see all the time.
As a coach, I mean, probably the most valuable thing that these kids are getting out of sports, high school sports, is they're learning about life. Do you see the lights come on sometimes in your kids and your players that that's going to help them, with the rest of their life, basically?
At times, a lot of life has a lot of trials and tribulations, and throughout any season you have those. You have those moments where you don't really want to go to practice. You don't really want to get up and go do this. You don't want to have to put this work in. But that's part of life. Is you have to, especially when you have a family stuff. You got to go support your family. You got to go to work. I mean, you got to be able to put food on the table, that kind of stuff. And so that's some of those life lessons to kind of get those, that they kind of start seeing, hopefully, by the time they're seniors. Usually when they're freshmen, sophomores, they don't see that kind of stuff.
No, and that's not even on the horizon.
No,
really.
But as juniors and seniors, they start doing it some.
Starts clicking in.
And like I said, I've got 2 seniors this year, Ricky Schmidt and Kyle Christensen, that about 2 weeks ago, it kind of hit them. It's almost over. And
wow.
I said, we got our makeup senior night tonight, and they're going to, I'm sure it'll hit them even harder tonight.
Oh, I'm sure.
Even though knowing we've got a few games left, it hits you. And I still remember my senior year of high school my senior night. And
what do you mean? That was just like 2 years ago.
Yeah, man. I wish. Been a while, let's put it that way. But,
all right.
But I still remember that. So.
All right, so that's what's going on with the Camdenton Lakers. Head coach Craig Campbell, as always. I'm probably not going to get to see you again this year. Looking forward to next year. But thank you for stopping by and joining us on the Coaches Show.